conference. It was a pleasure to travel through Wales yesterday to reach Ynys Môn, to cross the bridge, to reach the apex of our country, ready for this most auspicious day, St. David's Day, March the 1st. Ynys Môn, Mam Cymru, is special to Wales. This is the county of so many Welsh firsts. The first comprehensive school was set up here, a great symbol of the best in our creative tradition. The first woman MP was Megan Lloyd George, the first branch of the Women's Institute. And it's a fitting place for the first woman leader of Plaid Cymru to pay tribute to the first minister in the history of our party, Leanne. I want to say thank you to you, Leanne, for your tremendous service to Ynys Môn and to Wales for more than a quarter of a century. In 1987, your victory here as an MP will be remembered as a ray of light in a dismal decade for Plaid Cymru. A breakthrough that gave this party heart and confidence for the years ahead. In 1997, it was Leanne's telecanvassers that helped us win the greatest prize for this nation. By winning the referendum, we gave birth to our democracy. It was in 1997 that we won our dignity. The icing on the cake came in 2011 when Welsh public opinion crystallised in favour of Wales. Those referendum results, Leanne, will be your most precious legacy. In 2007, you took us into government. And let us be clear, that is the ultimate goal of a political party like ours. Your shining example in that government will continue to provide us with the inspiration for the years ahead. So it's fitting that here, on your territory, I say thank you, Leanne, from me personally and on behalf of this party. Diolch o galon. Ynys Môn represents the nation's northernmost point. And it's a perfect place to get a perspective on where Wales has been and where we are heading. Since the financial crash of 2007, a lot has changed. Yet we have a government in London ploughing ahead with its failed, incompetent policies of austerity. At the same time, we have a Welsh government in Cardiff, happy to carry on with a mentality of nothing to do with us, Gov. Thinking about where we are and where we are going doesn't mean looking back and dwelling on the past, although, of course, it's vital to have an understanding of our history. It's more important to look forward, ymlaen, as we say. I say it's time for us to chart our own course. We are Wales's only national party. Why? For one simple reason. We want to build this country. We want to unlock our people's potential. We want to build a path of human progress, not in the abstract, not in the comfortable and complacent corridors of power, but in the streets of every community, in the villages and the valleys where we live. Our communities are important to Plaid Cymru.
The campaign for 2016 starts now, here
heddiw,
now with us, with you.
gyda ni, gyda chi. Pam ydyn ni eisiau
Why do we want to win in
2016?
2016? Because a better Wales can't wait any longer.
Cymru gwell ddim yn gallu aros.
The problem in our communities in Wales are deep-rooted, serious and ingrained.
Yn ddwys ac yn mynd nôl yn bell.
We need to give our economy a boost and to create communities that are fit to face current and future challenges. We need to put all our effort into job creation. With jobs comes confidence. With confidence, everything is possible.
Gyda hyder, mae popeth yn bosib.
As someone who's trying to learn Welsh, I understand how important confidence is. The language is very important to me, and I want to see a Wales in the future become a nation where the Welsh language is one of the languages spoken in the streets in all parts of Wales. The census brought us some bad news. The figures show that the number of Welsh speakers is in decline. We are losing some 2,000 Welsh speakers every year. And what is the Welsh government doing about this? Nothing. Just delaying. It was only this week that Labour prevented the introduction of the Welsh language standards. The language and the economy is essential in all areas, such as Anglesey. And throughout the country, we must provide opportunities for people to remain, stay, live and work in their communities. We need to create a future for our young people, and they are the hope for our next generation.
And that is why I have insisted on the economy and job creation being our #1 priority since my election as Plaid Cymru leader a year ago. For 30 years, Wales has had a poor deal from a succession of UK governments. We've seen factories come and go, inward investment peaks and troughs, and the gap between the rich and the poor has grown and grown. Broken dreams, broken lives, broken families. It's time this finally stopped. It's time to put government back on the side of the people, to have a government working to make sure that people have the basics, a decent home with decent healthcare within a reasonable travel distance, a job with decent pay so that the bills are affordable. It's not difficult. With people in work on decent wages, they pay in to the tax pot. The more that goes into that tax pot, the more and better quality public services and social protection we can afford. The current austerity drive has failed. Projections for economic growth have failed. The efforts to maintain the UK's AAA credit status have failed. Attempts to cut unemployment in Wales have failed. Failure has been the hallmark of this discredited UK government. And where is the opposition? It was up to Plaid Cymru MPs to lead the charge on the bedroom tax this week on the floor of the House of Commons. And it's a good job the Tories in the Assembly have got their fingers on the pulse. Just this week, they've popped up to promise tax cuts for the better off. Plaid Cymru wants to see policies which help more businesses start up. How will cutting taxes for those on the 40% tax rate help that? Tackling business rates, better public procurement, these are the kinds of things that would make a difference. Measures that would allow our wealth creators to flourish. Measures that could be taken now if the Tories were really interested in helping business. These are the priorities of Plaid Cymru, and we will earn the right to govern our country by presenting a responsible, competent and business-friendly plan to boost the Welsh economy. We must make the most of the resources that we have, and our most precious resource are our people. The road to our future will be built by the people here. If we as Welsh people don't build it, it won't be built. We know we need better infrastructure, better communication links throughout our country. Take a look at rail. Why has it taken so long to electrify a single mile of our railways? For one reason alone, because the switch that needed to be flicked lay idle in London. We know that we can't look to London for the answers. That has been tried and it has failed. Friends, we've spent too long waiting. That switch, or the spark to power up our nation, has to be in our hands. We can achieve anything if we have the determination to shape and craft for ourselves, as Idris Davies puts it, a future that is better than the past. And we can. We must. We will create a future that is better than the past. After all, what is this Welsh democracy for, if not the possibility of doing things differently? We've worked hard for our democracy. Let's use it. It's a capacity that the Wales of our foremothers and forefathers did not have. We have the chance to make the most of our lives, to do the best we can do, to be the best that we can be. That was the spirit that inspired the miners and quarry workers to build libraries and universities the length and breadth of Wales. It's what inspired them to provide scholarships for thousands, so those who otherwise could not should have a better future. Our history will be what we make it, and we can start today by imagining and believing in a different future. I have led this party for almost a year. It's been a proud and exhilarating experience, and I am privileged to lead the only party which puts Wales first each and every time without question. What have I learned over this past year? I've learned that the people, the length and breadth of Wales, have an unquenchable hope, a huge appetite for a different course, an acceptance that we cannot continue as we are. Our country contains an enormous wellspring of positive, creative, almost limitless social energy, and I've been inspired by the people I've met who want to make a difference for their world and for Wales. We only need to look at our country's success in sport. We are punching well above our weight on a world scale in a wide variety of sports, from cycling to rugby, football to taekwondo. And I pay tribute to all of those who made last weekend such a fantastic weekend of Welsh sport. Well done to all of you for doing your nation proud. Welsh sports women and men give us a lot to be proud of, but also a lot to aspire to. They have shown us what can be achieved with confidence, self-belief, and the right opportunities. Translate that for our nation, for our economy. With that right combination, there's no reason why Wales can't be as or more successful than the scores of nations of roughly a similar size. As in team sports, if we all pull together as a team, this nation can and will do great things. People are calling out for a vision. Yes, there's scepticism, that's hardly surprising. The old models of our economy, our politics, our environment are broken. People are looking for a new direction, a new start, new leadership. I am determined that they will find it here, in the only party that this country of ours can rightly call its own, the Party of Wales. For a vision to work, it must be credible. It must set out where we want to go, but it must also set out the first steps on the journey. Our vision is of an independent Wales, independent in spirit and in reality, not dependent on handouts from Brussels or London, a country fuelled not by charity, but by our own success. The question is, how do we get there from here? We live in the present, and it's in the present tense that we make ourselves relevant to people's daily lives. Our first steps will be outlined in our programme, and it's with a relevant programme combined with a determination to fight for our communities that we will make Anglesey proud again when we win here in May. The work of building the new Wales starts here and it starts now, and there is a lot of work to be done. This party has a raft of good policies which are ripe for the time we are in. So ripe, in fact, that the Welsh Government has had to adopt our ideas in the absence of their own. Our plan to tackle the council tax benefit gap, our plan for a public investment vehicle that we called Build for Wales, our plan to turn around our national airport, our plan for a conversation on the Welsh language, our plan for a science park here on the Menai Straits. These are all policies pushed by the Party of Wales, then adopted by the Welsh Government. We are working hard, coming up with solutions that can be put in place now to the problems that people face in their everyday lives. And I'm talking about these policies and discussing them in public meetings that I'm holding with people up and down the land. Plaid Cymru intends to talk to people in every single nook, cranny and corner of Wales. And the more we talk with people in our communities and listen, the more we will get our policy and our programme right. I have set this party a big challenge. Between now and 2016, I want us to have 1 million conversations with the people of Wales. That's a two-way conversation where we listen and take note of what people say. And during those conversations, we will be positive, we will promote optimism, and we will promote hope. Our campaign for the 2016 Assembly election has already begun. Our campaign will have the energy, the excitement, and the integrity to offer a real alternative. It will be rooted in the participation of people in every city, in every town, in every village, and in every county. A campaign that will restore people's faith in politics. Plaid Cymru, the Party of Wales, must win that election. We must win that election for the children of Wales. 1/4 of the children in this country are growing up poor. When they grow up, 1/4 of them will be unemployed. 40% of them will leave primary school, not able to read or write to the standard expected for their age. Thousands will be in schools in the quarter of all local education authorities that are currently in special measures. We can do so much better than this. Where is the sense of urgency that we need in Welsh politics now? We can't afford to wait any longer before we see improvements in standards in our education system. There will be teenagers sitting their GCSEs this summer who have spent the whole of their education under devolution. There can be no excuses. Education is devolved in full. These young people have watched as Wales, in the past a watchword for educational excellence, has slipped further and further behind, not just England, but behind 36 other countries in reading and 38 in maths. And it's our boys who are falling behind the furthest. We must teach our boys the basics, because unless we get the basics right, we won't get the rest right. Plaid Cymru will implement a comprehensive literacy and numeracy programme with early intervention to specifically target boys, but aiming to make sure all children are performing to the best standard for them by the age of 11. We want to see if we can utilise willing volunteers like retired teachers and other professionals in this work. We want to extend the principles of the foundation phase to offer a much wider range of out-of-school and weekend activities which promote and support classroom-based learning. And we want to offer more vocational opportunities to young people to try a range of trades before committing to an apprenticeship or a college course. Making sure trades are taught alongside business skills and/or cooperative skills will help to train the next generation to do the jobs that need doing. The government's approach to education has shown nothing less than a shocking dereliction of duty, an absolute travesty. For Wales, a country where in the past great store was placed on the value of education, it is extraordinary that it has now become one of our greatest failures. The Welsh education system has become the graveyard of ambition. When a child fails their education, the consequences stay with them for life. Ask anyone who didn't sit or who didn't pass their 11+. But when the education system fails our children, who takes responsibility? To date, no one. Not one education minister has ever been sacked for poor results. All too often, failure is rewarded with promotion. My view is that the time has passed where we in Wales can blame all and sundry for our problems. Regardless of our history, we are where we are. Let's make the most with what we've got. No more blaming others. Let's take the responsibility for putting it right ourselves now. Wales needs leadership. Wales needs a leader who has energy, as well as determination to fulfil the great responsibility that leading a country like ours involves. In health, in education, and in the economy, our country needs to be doing so much better. We need someone who will work every hour and leave no stone unturned to make Wales a better place. Someone who can see the future and is prepared to champion Wales at every opportunity, selling our strengths, not bemoaning our weaknesses. Wales needs real leadership, and I pledge to you that when I'm returned as First Minister in 2016, I will make sure that standards in education are raised. A Plaid Cymru government will work to provide opportunities for all to reach their best potential, and we will make sure the brightest children are able to excel. Do you know, so far in the Fourth Assembly, there have been 59 task and finish groups set up by the government. That's almost as many reviews in under 2 years as in the whole history of devolution. Why so many reviews? when the few targets that have been set have been so badly missed. 90% of UK GVA by 2010, missed badly. 25% of people speaking Welsh by 2011, missed badly. Welsh ambulances arriving within 8 minutes of an incident in 65% of cases, missed month after month after month. Our Assembly is meant to fill the accountability gap. We shouldn't have to be caught in a one-party state of denial, immune from criticism, refusing to take responsibility. 59 task and finish groups since May 2011 can only mean one thing: a government devoid of ideas. Well, I know the source of the problem, and I have a simple solution. It's time this government was tasked and finished off. Plaid Cymru wants a Wales that takes control of its own decisions. A Wales that has control over its own affairs so that we can implement our comprehensive economic plan. As we stated in our evidence to the Silk Commission this week, the criminal justice system, the police, broadcasting, energy, and one of our most precious resources, water, should all be in Welsh hands. A nwylo pobl Cymru. Transfer these responsibilities now. No hesitation, no excuses, no exception, and no delay. Wales should not be prepared to trust the UK government with any powers. It's time now to do things differently for ourselves. It's time for Wales to have the tools to do the job of turning around our economy. To be in better shape for business, the Party of Wales wants a connected country, an improved transport and IT network. We want to make use of rail electrification to build a Valleys metro and to reduce rail travel times between Bangor and Cardiff. Being better connected means creative investment in our ports and our airports to connect Wales to the world. And it means high-speed broadband for all, not just the lucky few. I want a country where people have opportunities to do well. Plaid Cymru wants to see improvements in the skills of our people so that we can build a new, sustainable manufacturing economy. We want to push green engineering skills, and that is why we focused on apprenticeships in our budget negotiations. And it's why we have proposed a Green Skills Construction College. We want to train people in Wales and incentivise them to stay. I want to see more of the Welsh pound invested in Welsh companies and better local procurement to lock that money into our local communities, to help create more opportunities for people to do well. This is just a flavour of the policies Wales needs to succeed and to flourish. We are an ancient country with a young democracy, proud of its past and deeply frustrated by its presence. Fortunately, this old country has a young party whose members are brimming with ideas, with enthusiasm, with hope, and with confidence for a future that is better than the past. It's a future we have yet to shape. The shape is up to us. Political parties are sometimes blunt instruments, far from perfect. But in a democracy, political parties are the only way we have so far invented to create policies to improve our lives and the lives of our communities. We ask the people of Wales not just to put their faith in us, but to invest their faith collectively, together with our own, to become the co-creators, co-producers, co-builders of our country. I ask you to imagine, just for a moment, suspend reality. Picture in your mind a different future. Can you visualise a successful Wales, a strong economy and a public service infrastructure that people are not dependent upon, but one which enables them instead to flourish? Can you imagine with us a different future? Can you believe that achieving that different, successful future is possible? Can you see it in your own mind? Can you imagine what success might feel like? I know it's possible. It's why I do what I do. But we need more people in Wales to see this vision. Come with us, the Party of Wales, the only party that puts this country first without fail. Join with Plaid Cymru on this journey. Help us build our country up. If together enough of us want that vision, we can make that future our own. Diolch.